Hey everyone! Today will be a two-part video on series that I haven't finished yet, that I really need to finish, and series that I'm embarrassed I haven't even started yet. First part of this video, I'm going to talk about book series that have been sitting on my shelf so long, just waiting for me to finish. It's embarrassing how long that some of these series have been sitting on my shelf just collecting dust. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Partials series. The first one is Partials, the second one is Fragments, and there's a third one that I don't currently own called Ruin. I don't know why I haven't finished this one because Partials is excellent. This is Fragments. Hold on. Partials is about society is almost extinct because they have built these superhuman, they're not really robots, they look like people, but they're superhuman kind of people that fight wars for them, except they got out of control like, you know, all robots and things do, and they go to war with the Partials. Then there's some kind of weaponized virus called RM, and that wipes out a lot of people. So it focuses around a 16-year-old girl named Kira, who is a medical assistant or medical personnel, and her job is to figure out why all the babies are dying and she's trying to save babies so that mothers can carry full term and they can start to repopulate the world. The babies are dying because they're all infected with RM. Some people are immune to RM, like Kira. Some people are not, and they have died. So they're trying to figure out the mysteries behind RM and why it's killing some people and why it's not killing others, why pregnant people can't go full term, why their babies keep dying, things like that. So it takes place in this dystopian kind of world. And Fragments continues that story on. I have started and restarted this book so many times. I don't know why. It's not that it's boring. It's not that I just don't know why I can't sit down and finish the whole book. I just need to set my mind to it and do it. But it's a fantastic series. I really need to finish it soon because I started Partials probably back in 2012, 2013, whenever year it came out. But it's a really good book. If you haven't read Partials, pick it up. If you have read Fragments and Ruin, let me know what you thought. Drop it in the comments below. This one is super embarrassing because I freaking loved the first book of this. I freaking loved it so much. And I had an advanced copy of the second book when I worked at the bookstore back in the day. So I don't know why I have not read this series to its entirety. It's beyond me. Like I said, this is another one that has been sitting on my shelf. The cover is so torn up and so gross, but this is Prodigy by Marie Lu, and I freaking loved Legend. This is the second one in the Legend series. It takes place in a dystopian, again, kind of world. I love my dystopians. There's two narrators. One is a girl who's a super soldier, and she's like the best super soldier there is. She's the top of her class. And then the other person is a criminal. And so they kind of are playing a cat and mouse game the whole time during Legend. Eventually, again, you know, they come to be on the same side and realize that they have to work towards the same goal. But I don't know why. I don't know why. Again, I have no answers about why I have not finished this series because I freaking love Legend. But I haven't. It's just one of those things. Next book that I read the first one and I own the second one but have never finished it for some reason is a really, I feel, unique and different series. I don't know when the first one came out. The second one came out in 2012. So that can tell you that this one's just a little bit older, but I think it's one of the most unique books that I've ever read. I really loved the first one, but the second one is called Rebel Heart. This is the Dustland series. The first one's called Blood Red Road, and then there's a third one out, of course, and I can't remember the name of it. It's green, I know that, but anyway, this one takes place in a dystopian kind of world. I think it's America. It never really does say, but you can tell that the old world and the old ways are long forgotten about. New ways have been set in. There's like poverty-stricken people everywhere. Our main character's family lives in a shack in the middle of the desert, so that can tell you how poor they are. But everything about this book is unique, from the storyline to the characters to even the way the book is written and how the main character talks. This book is written through the eyes of the main character, so it's in first person, but everything is spelled phonetically. She has kind of this weird dialect, and it's kind of hard to get used to at first, but after a few pages, and you can kind of tell what she's getting at, but the whole book is written that way. It doesn't use quotation marks. It doesn't use like standard punctuation. So even the way the book is written shows you that everything about the old world and the things that we're used to is long forgotten about. Let me just read a line from it that shows you how different that this book is. I ain't slept good for so long that I'm pretty much used to it, but it's been even worse since Aphonia died. Yeah. So it's hard. Like I said, it takes a while to get used to. It's kind of the way, if you read Harry Potter, it's kind of how Hagrid speaks. But this is just, it's not really broken English. It's just a weird dialect. You can tell she probably has an accent. It takes a bit to get used to. But maybe that's why I haven't continued on with this series. And Blood Red Road was fantastic. It was a great book. I love the story. Like I said, it was so unusual and so unique. But I really need to pick this series back up because I really want to see how it ends. Next book is probably the most embarrassing of them all because I've seen the movie a dozen times. My husband is obsessed with the movie, and I finally got a collector's edition of it because I think it has the first two in one, which I like to get combos like that when I can. And please don't judge me for this, but it's The Maze Runner. I have not read The Maze Runner, and I'm so embarrassed by that. But I've seen the movie, and I like the movie, and I even after Josh made me watch the movie, even though I didn't want to because I wanted to read the book first, but he made me watch it. I tried to pick up the book after that, and I don't know if I just wasn't in the right headspace for it or what was going on, but this is another series that I'm embarrassed that I haven't read, that I need to read because it's been sitting on my shelf for years and years and years. So I don't need to explain what this baby's about because I think you all have probably read The Maze Runner, and I'm the only one on BookTube that probably hasn't. So there's that. This book was actually the inspiration for this video of books that I'm embarrassed that I haven't read or started yet, and that is A Court of Thorn and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. A lot of you talk about Sarah J. Maas on BookTube, and I'm so embarrassed I haven't read anything by her. But like I said, I saw this on sale the other day, and it was a hardcover, and it's such a beautiful cover, and I knew it was just one that I had to own. So I think this one speaks for itself as well. I don't think I need to explain to you what it's about because I'm sure all of you out there have read it, and I'm the only one who hasn't. Next one is also by Sarah J. Maas, and that is, of course, Throne of Glass. This one's a long one, and that's probably why I haven't read it yet, because I just don't know that I was in the right headspace to start another long series. But I decided the other day that I was, so I picked it up. But again, this is something that I probably don't need to explain to you because you have all read it. But I'm really excited to start this because on the very front cover it says, fans of Game of Thrones and Hunger Games will love it. So I'm a fan of both Game of Thrones and Hunger Games, so I have very high hopes for this. So I trust you, BookTube. This was a recommendation from you all, so thank you for that, and I hope that I love it. Book I've had for a very long time as well. It's so embarrassing to think that I worked at the bookstore I worked there for 2 years. I started in 2011 and I left in 2013. And some of these books I remember buying with my discount when I worked at the bookstore. And this was one of them. This was on sale one day and I picked it up. And there's so many, I didn't know at first when I bought it that it was going to be a series, but there are so many more books that came out in this series. And sometimes when I watch you all's video, I can see this whole series sitting on your shelves. So when I saw that, I knew that this was probably something really special that I was missing out on. So I really need to finish this one, but it is Cinder. by Marissa Meyer. This is the Lunar Chronicles series. There's, like I said, there's a lot in this series now, but wasn't when I first bought this. This was the only one out. But I'm so intrigued by this notion of taking fairy tales and twisting them into something dark or something, you know, just expanding upon the world. That's why I'm so excited to read the book as old as A Tale as Old as Time, because it takes the Disney stories and twists them around. So I'm really excited for this book. I don't know why I haven't read it yet. It's just been sitting on my shelf for years and years and years. Last book I got when I worked at the bookstore again. I actually think I bought it at the same time when I bought Cinder, but that is Shatter Me. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce the author's name. I apologize. I'm just going to butcher it. But this is now a trilogy, I believe. But I just haven't read it. I'm embarrassed to say that I haven't, because a lot of you talk about how great it is. And like I said, I can see it sitting on your shelves behind you when you do videos, and I just know that it's something that I need to read. So it's embarrassing that I haven't. It's embarrassing how long I've had some of these books and just haven't read. So that is all. That's all the books on my shelves that are embarrassing, that I have not read yet, that I need to read. But I don't know where to start. So out of all of these books, what one would you recommend that I start with? Drop it in the comments below. Hit me up on my blog or my email or however you want to contact me. Let me know your recommendations. What's been sitting on your shelf so long that you're embarrassed by? There's some people out there that haven't read Harry Potter or Hunger Games or something like that. I'm one that hasn't read The Maze Runner. So just let me know what you're embarrassed by. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.